After looking at the film, again, very proud of our team in that game. Kids persevered, did what they had to do on a road game to come out on top. I mean, finding ways to make plays and make critical plays at critical moments in the game. Again, still a lot of room for improvement, which is also, you say, we got to keep getting better, but at the same time, you're pulling things out and you still got room for improvement. That's a good thing, too. I mean, you can still grow in your capabilities and nowhere close to the way we can play. And but at the same time, our ability to compete, handle moments, momentum swings, ups and downs of a game. A lot of young guys can get very frustrating for them at times, but at the same time, they showed a lot of maturity in those situations of going on and making the plays in which they had to do to make at the end of the game. Thought, defensively, thought we played well at times, did a great job in some different scenarios, played the run pretty well, some quarterback runs, but then, we gave up a couple big plays, and, this beginning of the second half, they had some drives. They got they opened up with a big drive. They got the next drive down. Now we come in with a blitz, got a strip sack, and got a score, which was huge in the game. Got points on defense. You get non-offensive points, which was really big in the game. Ended up being the difference in the game. In the score in the end. Then they got to drive back down again, move the ball again really well. Then we got a blocked field goal. But then we really settled down and really kept them in check, and they didn't get to move the football much until the last drive, which we had a couple plays there. We need to get off the field on fourth down, and guys played really good. They completed one ball, and we had another guy in our grasp and just broke a tackle. So there's still a lot of room for improvement there, but did some really good things in the game. I thought Matabuke was really, really good in the game. Thought you felt him and saw him in the run game and the pass game, and he influenced and made guys around him better because he fleshed guys out. Thought Buddy was really good in the game, had a score, made some really nice plays, played pretty consistently throughout the game and what he did, and played a lot of young guys on defense. A lot of chance for a lot of young guys to play on defense and did that. Special teams, I thought we did a much better job covering our kicks for sure. Our punts and kickoffs did a great job. They didn't bring but one out on the kickoff, but we got them inside the 25. The punts, we did a great job of getting them on the ground, hitting them where we're supposed to hit them. Got a big break one time when we got a good bounce on one, held it on the 2-yard line, which I thought was a huge play in the game. But he was a weapon in the game in that regard. I thought the punt return game was good. I thought we made some yards there, got some room for a nice there and got that. We got a blocked field goal in the game, which was really huge. Unfortunately, we missed 2 kicks. I know Seth's first one he's missed under 40 was a big kick there that we'll get. He'll work back, and he's been very consistent. And missed another kick that's very makeable for him too. His range goes well beyond that, and that's a very comfortable kick and where we're going. But those are 2 big that we got to get ironed out. Offensively, moved the ball well at times, especially early in the game. We didn't off the bat. But then the second drive had a huge drive down there. We got a field goal. I wish we could get a touchdown there. Execute there a little bit better on some things. But then I thought we ran the ball better. Thought we had another great 2-minute before the half drive, which is a big momentum swing, which is good. We got down, got a touchdown out of that. Come out the second half, had a nice run, got a penalty, got behind the sticks, then had a 3-and-out. Then we had a huge drive. Took it all the way down, ate about 12 plays, I think 10, 12 plays, and what we did. Unfortunately, had an opportunity on about the 20 there. We got pressure on Kellen. We had a nice double move and had a touchdown throw, and we got pressure and got hit and didn't get that in. And then we missed that field goal, but we had a lot of clock. Then come right back, miss a third down, and then come the next drive and had a huge drive and ran the football down. Kellen made some big third downs. We hit some nice throws. Isaiah really played good in that drive. Really had a nice big run to seal the game up and got up 10 points. So we had to run the ball there and created some different things in that regard. I thought 85 and 28. For freshmen, you can see them getting better and better each and every week, and both played very critical roles in the game. How we ran the ball there, and tight end, getting him incorporated in the passing game. He's doing a much better job in the running game, and Rennick in there on the run and got his first action at tight end. Look at the film; he blocked really, really well. Did a really good job in supporting cast and rolls, and he was actually the guy pulling on those plays and did some nice things. We finished with a few more points. The 2 turnovers are disappointing. The one was we had a little play back. The tight end would have been a really nice play in that situation, and the defensive end just was rushing down, just stopped and fell back into it. Never had it. But at the same time, you got to see that. You got to put air on that ball and see him. We had a little pressure, but we got to make that play, and that could have been a really nice play for us to get down and have some more points. And the other one, the guy just gets his frame. I mean, it's a good ball. We throw it there, get their fingertip on it, and it hits us in the pads, and goes straight up. I mean, the decision was right, but still it's 2 turnovers, and you can't have that. And we don't need that. The defense did a good job in sudden change on that also, but a lot of room for improvement. But it's a really good win on the road. They were battling, scratching, and we were too. And we're keep growing. There's a lot of little things in there we can see as coaches that we're getting better at. And hopefully we'll consistently grow in all 3 areas as we go. Kids had a great attitude, though, and a great demeanor and a relentless effort to compete in the game, which did a good job. Now we go play Mississippi State here. Mississippi State come off a very tough game with LSU, who's playing extremely well right now. But at the same time, defensively, Mississippi State's very talented. The front guys up front all played against us last year. Big, heavy, strong guys that could explode and change the line of scrimmage. Linebacker is very talented. 40 is, as good as anybody in the league. I mean, can run, played. Gay and Lewis and those guys, the other two linebackers, are very gifted. The corner, Dantzler, is as good as the number 3. He's one of the best corners we'll play all year long, athletic. The other young corners are playing very well for them. Safeties, they get involved. Tons of pressures, tons of blitzes, different looks, different things up front. It's going to be very challenging. We got to make sure we're dotting I's, crossing T's, and understand what we're going into it with. They're a very good defensive football team with their looks and what they do. And saying all that, offensively, Joe's done a great job with offense, always has been. He's an offensive mind. Run the football, a lot of RPOs, a lot of quarterback runs. Quarterback's an athletic, big, strong guy. Can make plays. Offensive line's a big physical group. They're big and physical. And Mississippi State always has skilled guys at receiver, so in that regard. Punter can hit it long, hit some 55-yard punts, and always got good return guys. So we got our hands full. We need to have a good week of practice. Play 1 week at a time, do the things we have to do to be successful this week, keep a great demeanor, and compete very well in the game. Questions?
Right side, Gabe, and then Olin.
Yeah, Jimbo, in what areas on your offensive line are you really pleased with how they're growing, and what areys do you think you need to see a lot more?
I think assignments communication-wise. I mean, it's a lot of the mistakes now, we're not turning guys loose or going, in the wrong miscommunication on the calls. If we get beat, it's getting beat physically, which it's technique or things you keep working on. But, offensive line, one of the big areas when you get new guys, new centers and all that is communication. I mean, making sure your calls, and you got a young freshman in there who's doing really good. I mean, Kenyon's going to be a really, really good player and doing really good things. So you always worry about communication back to your tight ends and make sure everybody's on the same page and protections and all those things and getting better there. And I think in the run game, got more movement. We had a lot more positive runs in this game, a lot more consistent runs. Broke out with a couple big runs, whether it's quarterback run or the big counter at the end, a couple nice runs by Isaiah up inside, and more physical inside. So learning to communicate better there in pass protection, always learning to grow. Kellen was under some pressure, but at the same time, guy, if you get beat physically is one thing, but communicating, getting to the right guys, doing those things are much better.
Right side, Olin, and then Travis.
Yeah, Jimbo, of the 250 rushing yards that y'all gave up, I think 175 of those came on 5 plays. Is that encouraging or discouraging?
Yes. I mean, you say that, but and a lot of times when you do play teams like that, I mean, not teams like that, but teams that have a lot of, I mean, that's the way it always, that's why I keep talking about big plays, you know what I'm saying? And you got to stop them. And that's the thing. Like the one run on the first play of the second half, we've got 2 guys perfectly there to make the play. We just fit it wrong. I mean, one gap over. I mean, literally people say, well, is it easily fixed? Yes. But it's like the difference of me being right here to right here. And the angle in which you come at it with. So that's the technique. I mean, that's just ball, and that's the gap. They slip through and make a big run. And we have it accounted for and perfect. And make a critical mistake, but then come back and play very well. And then, like you say, well, one mistake, I only made one mistake. Okay, but how big was that mistake? You know what I'm saying? And it's like on offense. Like there's times, I think we had it the other day. We had a double move, got it protected well, but just walked back into just physically caught us under our pad, and we were rubbing off from bang to bang from guy. Well, sometimes when you do it, you're up a little high, got caught, got knocked back into Kellen. He's making a throw, and it's going to be whether we catch it, I have a chance to have a really open touchdown, and it goes there. But that mistake that you made, and then you played good the rest of the game. But that one mistake might have cost you 7 points. That happened once in the Auburn game this year on a situation with a guy. And that's why I say when they happen, how they happen, a lot of times you don't notice those things. But then other times you do because of the result of the play or the type of game it is. And that's that simple. Is it very fixable? Yes. You just got to limit those things and not have those 4 or 5 mental breakdowns on leverage and fits. And that's what you can't have. Or, sometimes that's where sometimes superhuman effort by a great player sometimes can cover up. You say they make plays and everybody thinks everything's good. And whereas a coach behind the scenes, we're going, listen, that guy there is made up for 3 guys. We can't, we got to get that fixed. You know what I'm saying? So we don't always see. So those things are encouraging in that the rest of those plays you played, how many plays, 68, 69, something like that in the game, yes, something of that nature. Mm-hmm. You played very well in that situation. It's only 4 or 5. That's a low percentage. But the results of those 4 or 5 are something that we can't live with. So we have to, learn to eliminate those. And also, as I say, minimize the damage. When you do make a mistake, we don't need it to be tragic. We need it to be, all right, they can make a 10 or 8, 10, 12-yard run, you get them on the ground and move on. So, or vice versa on offense. I mean, that's the thing sometimes right now.
Front left, Travis.
Anthony mentioned that you all have asked him to take a little bit of a more leadership role on special teams. How much was the improvement on special teams in putting a couple more first string guys in?
No, we had first string guys in on all different things. And we always do. Sometimes in and out. I've always been a starter, guys. Starters play. I don't care. Special teams. If you don't want to play special teams, you ain't playing offense or defense. That's been my rule ever since I started coaching. And any coach I've been around that was really significant. We always, at LSU back in the day, at Florida State, you go look at our team, all of our starters were on that. And it was a role in which he had to be on, and we wanted him to be there and do that in. And it's both, and the techniques are better. And we got better in techniques. And we kicked the ball where we're supposed to kick it. And unfortunately, we had the one coming out second half. That was another thing. And that was just a complete slip. I mean, you can see his foot. I mean, he's kicking, had a little dew, and we slipped. So it's a combination of doing all those things right. And, again, you go back and you keep re-emphasizing. You say things that's just like, stove's hot, stove's hot, stove's hot, stove's hot. Okay, and then you touch it and you get burnt. And you say, oh, it really is hot, and it wakes you up. You know what I'm saying? And kids, you got to understand how important every part of the game is.
Then I noticed Connor Blumert getting some reps on different parts.
We're doing different things with Connor on offense. I mean, you'll see him in the backfield some. You'll see him split out. I mean, he can run. He can throw. Connor's a very talented guy. He's a big body guy that can run. He has athleticism. He can be a great. We got him on special teams. He's 6'5", 210, 15 pounds, and I mean can really run and athletic. And like I say, we want to use him as much as he can. We went to him and he came to us, and he had a great attitude about it. And I think he's got a chance to really be a good player in the future. I really do.
Coach, go back behind the lights, Tyler.
Coach, Buddy Johnson obviously had a great game, was
Yes.
the SEC Defensive Player of the Week, another double-digit tackle game. What has he meant so far this season for this team on the defense, and how important is he heading forward?
Well, he's filled a significant role in which we were light in depth and light in experience in guys and actually moving him positions inside from outside. That's a different animal now. People say that, play linebacker. Well, inside linebacker to outside linebacker is a totally different deal. And I've seen some guys who are in the Hall of Fame or All-Americans in college that couldn't play inside. You know what I'm saying? That's hard. It's a whole different animal. It's like certain guys on the offensive line, centers and guards, sometimes a guy can be a phenomenal tackle. He can't play inside, and vice versa. So his ability to adapt and handle that has been huge for our team. His leadership for our team, he gets better and better each week, and his role keeps growing, and the guys see the way he's playing, and he's been a big contributing factor for us on defense.
To the left, Cease.
Coach, how about an update on some players that didn't play? Clemens, Oliver, Carper, Pryor, Wright, Elam, and Tucker.
All right, Oliver was out. We'll see this week. We don't know if he'll return this week. Possibly could, possibly not. Clemens the same way. They were all injured. Beal the same way. Carper. I mean, and hoping some of these guys will be back. We're expecting some of them back. I can't say all or not. It'll be how things go during the week. All right, you said Oliver, Clemens, Beal, Pryor. Pryor is no longer with us. He's no longer with us. And who was the other one? He's unavailable.
Elam.
Yeah,
Unavailable.
he's unavailable.
Right.
Tucker is redshirting. Tucker want to be ready. Want to be ready. Want to be redshirted.
Right side, Olin.
Two things,
That's
Coach.
a lot of them. That's a lot of them.
That is a lot. Anais Smith, he's been kind of in and out of the starting lineup. What's kind of depends
Different
on
guys,
his
different
role.
things, what we're asking, what we did in the game. And we got to get nice playing, but he got him on the punt returns and expecting the game got tight in some situations. We went with some experience there, but Nice is going to be in the mix, and we'll be getting playing time and getting back in there, I promise you.
And I think I counted, without him, you still had 6 true freshmen, I think, in the starting lineup this week.
Oh,
So-
yeah, we do. I mean, we've started 6 or 8 or 7.
Seven.
I mean, there's been an
So
abundance.
far. Okay, I missed
I mean, with history, with like I say, we're a young football team. But these young guys are going to be really good players, and we like them and experience and the injuries that have occurred because of the situations and the opportunities and their development is really good. So, trust me, I know. It's exciting, but as a coach, it's I don't say nerve-wracking, but it's interesting because of how you have to approach those things. You know what I mean? With making sure you know what they're capable of, making sure you put them in positions to be successful early in their career, so you don't destroy their confidence in things that happen. You know, you have to make sure how you handle those guys. But those guys are showing a lot of maturity in the way they're handling things, and have played some significant minutes and had some significant plays.
To the left, Cease, and then to the right, Gabe.
When you looked at the film, why did you have more trouble on third downs maybe this game and other games, and why weren't you maybe able to take advantage of passing against them when other teams had passed a lot against them?
We had some nice passes in the game. We had the first drive. I had that drive. I'm trying to think. The first one, we got behind the chains on the first one. We're thrown away, but got pressure inside. Second one, moved down, got pressure. I can think of 3 right now. We had pressure we had to come out of. We had guys open that, we gave up pressure. Don't remember a drop or two. We had the third down that got tipped on the deal there. We had one bad throw, and just getting in rhythm of it and staying on the field. The second half we did. First half we threw for 100 and we were on track to throw for we were 218, 220 at half. Third quarter we didn't have the ball. You remember they
3 and out.
They went down and got it, scored. Then we went 3, and we had a nice run, but we got a penalty. We had 2 penalties, and we didn't get a first down. And they drove, and we got the strip for a touchdown, so they got the ball back. And then we drove again. Then they drove again for a long period of time, moved the ball. In the third quarter, we only had the ball 1 possession, and then got it really back at the second, and got 3 and out on that one. And then we had 2 long drives, and then getting in the rhythm. So, wish we could have done that more. Just got to keep throwing it and going. But we have been throwing the ball very well, and like I say, got out of rhythm there in the second half. First half, we got things going at the end of the half and threw the ball really well and made some plays. And had some nice play actions to the tight end. We had going in at halftime, felt very comfortable with where we were, really did.
Right side, Gabe. To the left, Alex.
Got to show more consistency.
On the surface, Jimbo, there's some similarities. This team coming in with a freshman quarterback and the freshman running back combo can beat you in terms of what Ole Miss, but how do they try to attack you differently despite having some similar in personnel?
They're spread, but probably more physical packages inside, not as much empty. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they'll go empty and do the things, but not as much empty from that regard where with the 2 quarterbacks, and I mean true, using 2 quarterback system and more of a true spread. This is a quarterback run that can spread but can also be conventional and run conventional power plays and things of that nature.
To the left, Alex, and then Zach, you'll wrap us up.
Hey, Coach. How big was Isaiah Spiller's game on Saturday for him, building confidence?
Big confidence game. I mean, he keeps getting better. And and I'm going to tell you where else he did a real nice job. If you watch that film, he did a really nice job in pass protection. His pass protection keeps growing, and how he's learning to use his tackles inside and his guard and where he fits and how he does things. He's doing a really good job in there in that regard. Then his confidence in his run to get that big run at the end, a couple short yards. There was a couple runs in there. He hit up inside the tackles and really made good bursts and runs. And got a couple nights he's learned to catch the ball out of the. I mean, not learning, but getting more comfortable catching the ball because he always has good hands. He has very natural hands. So I think his confidence overall is growing, and you see the consistency in how he's playing. He played big in that game. He and 85 were huge in that game for us. 2 true freshmen on offense.
To the left, Zach, you wrap us up.
I was going to ask you about Isaiah, and I'm glad that Alex did. But that being said, from looking at the team's perspective and Buddy being able to recover that fumble, I know you guys are always stressing ball hawking, getting the ball, but do you feel like that can get something going on defense?
Oh, no doubt. I mean, it's like anything. Hey, it's like, somebody tells you something all the time, it can happen, and you say, yeah, and all of a sudden, and it never happens, or it doesn't happen enough, and all of a sudden it starts to happen, you say, then it naturally, that flow of things just naturally happen. That's kind of how your confidence grows, and your perspective on things of just keep playing plays. That's why I was so happy this team in that game, when things weren't as going as well, look as good at certain situations, just kept playing on the road. And you got a lot of young guys sometimes that can get frustrated, and all of a sudden that strip sack comes, you get a big score. Now you say, the things that we're saying as a coaching staff and as an organization are happening, and we're making them happen. I can do this. You know what I'm saying? And that's all part of the confidence growing, the team growing, and our unity growing and belief in what we're doing.
All right, Coach, thanks. We got a couple of players ready.